Like once they cross the border between Mexico and South America, they would be traveling like to a certain, let's say like almost like trap house in a certain city, and then they would stay there for a couple days. And then most of these kids came through Texas. They didn't come through here. So they would get sent with all the people, like with other adults that were going to Texas, and they would like be splitting them up, and they will move them usually like around nighttime, not in the daytime. And then they also told, like they would tell them not to use certain words, because I think it's, I don't know, it's one of those countries, but pisto to us Mexicans means pistear, which means drinks, but pisto to them means money. So for example, if once they got to Mexico, like they would say like basically try not to say as much as you need to, because they're gonna target you that you're not from here.
Who's gonna target them?
Like whoever else they were around. Because for example, the girl that she told me that she turned herself in like everybody else, she would say like once she crossed the border between South America and Mexico, she had like a phone number, and she would have to call them and be like, okay, like now where do I go? And they would tell her like, oh, head to this place, like this maybe like bus stop or like Central de Camiones, and you're gonna meet this person, and you're gonna give him a code. Like it could be a word or a number, and then once you give him that code, then they're like, okay, it's this girl. So then they're gonna take you and they're gonna bring you to this other place, and usually the next place would be like a house, and then they would stay there for a couple days, and then from there they would keep getting moved up until they got to the border. So like the whole journey from South America and the Mexican border to like us, the border that we're here, it can take like a week to like more than that.
How would they cross?
Through like they would turn themselves into the migra.
Okay, like right at the border?
Yeah, so like for example, that girl that she was telling me that they would turn themselves in, she would say that they would tell them like, oh, you're gonna cross. So in Texas there's this bridge that they make a line at, which people make line there to cross the border. They would have to go between the cars, and they would kind of like give him a map of like, oh, at this point you guys are gonna make a turn, and then you guys are gonna run to the migra.
What?
And you're gonna tell, like they're gonna know that you guys are kids, because they were kids.
Yeah.
And they're gonna take you guys in, and then they're gonna take you guys to a migration center, and then you guys are gonna get sent to your families.
Oh, okay.
So by the point that they got to us, to the like for us, for example, for us to the convention center, by that point the case managers had to be on top of everything, because they had to be searching for whoever person was gonna take him here. Like for example, if I don't know, like if I was like, oh, I have a tío named Angel in San Diego, they were gonna call you to verify that you were my uncle, and to see if you wanted to take me in, which most of the time it was a yes. And then they also had to get a hold of their family back in their home country to let them know that they actually made it safe, because a lot of these kids were like, their parents didn't know anything about them for weeks, or like maybe even a couple months, so they didn't even know if they were alive or if they weren't.